Hello and welcome everyone on this official platform of Legacy IAS Academy. A Nobel Peace Prize winner, now accused of selling his country. A former Prime Minister of Bangladesh in exile, threatening to return with fire. And a rising storm that could shake the very foundation of South Asia. So Bangladesh is boiling and its democracy is on the edge. As you can see here, the headlines and the news: Yunus election promise is making April Fool Bangladeshi people. Said by whom? Sheikh Hasina. जी हाँ, तो ये headline है न्यूज की. Now, in one corner, Muhammad Yunus, a global icon of microfinance, now the interim leader of a shattered state. On the other hand, Sheikh Hasina, the longest serving leader in Bangladesh history, now silenced but far from powerless. So, as Muhammad Yunus promises elections by April 2026, so Sheikh Hasina, she calls it an April Fool joke. And Muhammad Yunus also saying that he is bringing reform. That is why Sheikh Hasina, she said that he is backed by the radical group. But what is really happening in Bangladesh? Why did Muhammad Yunus go to Indian Prime Minister Modi for help? And what did Prime Minister Modi say? And why are foreign powers silent on this? And how is this chaos shaping the South Asia's geopolitical future? So this is not just a story of two leaders. It's a global case study in power, democracy, betrayal, as well as ambition. So let's break it all down, because this is a story that the world must understand. So what happened? What is the context of the news here? So let me tell you that Sheikh Hasina, a former Prime Minister of Bangladesh, she made a strong public statement against Muhammad Yunus, who is the currently interim Chief Adviser of Bangladesh. Now, she accused him of cheating the people by delaying elections. अब अगर हम इस चीज की बात करें, यूनुस he promised to hold elections by April 2026. That means next year. अब critics का इस पर क्या कहना है? Critics including Sheikh Hasina saying that election should be held by 2025, by December 2025. Now, Yunus का इस पर क्या कहना है? Yunus claims that he needs more time to bring reforms before the election. That is why Sheikh Hasina called this promise as a plot to fool the people on April Fool Day. इसीलिए यूनुस बोल रहा है कि अप्रैल 2026 में इलेक्शंस करेंगे. तो अब इस चीज पर शेख हसीना जी ने क्या कहा? Now Sheikh Hasina released a 1-hour audio message. जी हाँ. And in that 1-hour audio message to her party, that is Awami League, and her supporters, she accused Muhammad Yunus of delaying the elections to stay in power, and Yunus is selling the country and making money, and Yunus is being supported by the radical groups like Jamaat-e-Islami, a radical Islamist party, and even Yunus is being a radical as well as extremist. Now, Sheikh Hasina, she also attacked Bangladesh Nationalist Party, which is led by whom? Led by Khalida Zia, for looting the country. Now, that is why she is saying that the current government, now she also accused current government, that is interim government of Muhammad Yunus. So she accused the current government for banning the Awami League from contesting the elections. And that is why Sheikh Hasina, she said, let Awami League people, let them allow us to contest the election, and let's see who the people choose. And she also promised that I will come back and we will build a smart Bangladesh by 2041. But शेख हसीना किस चीज में फंसी हुई है? देर आर सम शेख हसीनाज लीगल ट्रबल्स। जी हाँ, शेख हसीनाज लीगल ट्रबल्स। नाउ व्हाट आर दोज लीगल ट्रबल्स? So Sheikh Hasina, she claimed that her family members are facing the legal charges, and she accused the current regime for murdering the Awami League members as well as prosecuting them unfairly. अब यहां पर इंडिया का रोल क्या हो सकता है? What should be the role of India? So मोहम्मद यूनुस ने क्या कहा? मोहम्मद यूनुस, he met Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi during the BIMSTEC summit, है ना, in Bangkok this year in April 2025. And Muhammad Yunus also asked Prime Minister Modi to stop Sheikh Hasina from making the political statements from India. अब इस पर प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी ने क्या कहा? प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी reportedly replied, "It is social media. We cannot control it." है ना? Now, Yunus later shared this story during a talk at Chatham House in London, as you can see here. Chatham House is one of the premier foreign policy think tank in London. Think tank है foreign policy. Okay. Now, apart from this, there is also a legal fight between Yunus and Sheikh Hasina. जी हाँ, Yunus versus Sheikh Hasina legal fight. Now, अब यूनुस क्या करना चाह रहे हैं? यूनुस इज ट्राइंग टू extradite Sheikh Hasina from India back to Bangladesh because Yunus is saying that she has been indicted by the International Crime Tribunal in Bangladesh for allegedly ordering a police crackdown on the protester last year, that is in 2024. So this is about the ये यूनुस का कहना है किस पर? शेख हसीना पर. Now overall, अब इन चीजों के इंपैक्ट क्या हो सकते हैं? सो लेट मी टेल यू ओवरऑल जो न्यूज अभी हमने समझी, that Muhammad Yunus promised elections by April 2026, but critics including the Sheikh Hasina, she believes that he is just using this as an excuse to stay in power. That is why Sheikh Hasina, she launched a fierce attack on Yunus as well as Jamaat-e-Islami, also on BNP and their alleged corruption as well as extremism. Now, Yunus tried to involve India here, but Prime Minister Modi did not act on his request. So, the political climate in Bangladesh remains tense as well as divided. Now, the situation that we have discussed just now in Bangladesh, it could have serious and far-reaching impact, not just within the Bangladesh, but also regionally as well as internationally. Now, what can be the impact? Now, deepening political polarization. Now, deepening political polarization in Bangladesh. कैसे? Now, Sheikh Hasina fears attack on Muhammad Yunus. This shows that Bangladesh political divide, and this political divide is worsening. Now, this could lead to more street level protest or unrest, especially among the Awami League supporters. Then crack down on the opposition figures and civil society. Then there is also growing mistrust in any promises which is made by the interim government. Another impact could be legitimacy crisis. Legitimacy crisis. Now, legitimacy crisis for the Yunus-led interim government. कैसे? Like for example, he is delaying elections until April 2026, which is being widely criticized. And if major parties like Awami League are banned from contesting, so the elections outcome may be seen as a illegitimate, both domestically as well as internationally. So, Yunus' image as a neutral reformer may erode, especially if accusations of bias, repression, or foreign backing, like you can say Jamaat's alleged influence, these things can gain traction. Then another important thing here is, another impact would be erosion of democratic institutions. Now, erosion of democratic institutions, कैसे? So, with parties banned, political leaders they are facing charges and elections delayed. So, Bangladesh democracy could weaken. Now, apart from this, the International Crime Tribunal might be viewed as being used for the political revenge, which can harm rule of law. Then another impact could be strained India Bangladesh relations. Now, strained relations. How? Now, let's try to understand. Yunus publicly claimed that Prime Minister Modi refused to act against the Sheikh Hasina statement. And this could create the diplomatic friction between the interim Bangladeshi regime as well as India. This can also lead to the accusations of India interfering or protecting the Sheikh Hasina. And this may affect the bilateral cooperation, trade, border security, and also the regional initiatives like BIMSTEC. Apart from this, there are international concerns. Now, international concerns, how? Countries like United States of America, UK, European Union, as well as United Nations, these things might become more vocal about that there is a need for free and fair and timely elections. Then protection of civil liberties as well as freedom of speech in Bangladesh. And Bangladesh might face diplomatic isolation as well as sanctions and or aid suspension if repression increases. Then there is a risk of civil unrest. Now, risk of civil unrest. Kaise? Or violence also. Now, Sheikh Hasina's strong rhetoric, she is accusing Yunus of murders, selling out to radicals, as well as going to return. Now, this thing could trigger mass protest. This could trigger the political violence and possible military or paramilitary interventions may be there. Then, apart from this, another impact, economic stability. Now, economic instability. Now, economic instability. Now, political uncertainty often leads to investor fear as well as capital flight. There may be drop in foreign direct investments in Bangladesh. There may be delay in infrastructure project, pressure on currency also as well as foreign reserves. So Bangladesh ambitious goals like Smart Bangladesh by 2041, it may get derailed. Then another impact, leadership crisis. Now, how leadership crisis? So let me tell you. So there is a possibility for leadership crisis as well as political vacuum possibility. So if Yunus lost the credibility and Sheikh Hasina remains in exile or under trial, then a leadership vacuum will be there in Bangladesh, and this leadership vacuum could emerge in Bangladesh, and this might create an open space for radical groups in Bangladesh. Jamaat-e Islami resurgence in Bangladesh, more authoritarian tendencies from those who are in power. So overall, if we see these things, this is not just a fight between two political figures, that is Muhammad Yunus and Sheikh Hasina. It is a struggle over the future of democracy in Bangladesh. So the choices are made now will shape the Bangladesh direction for the next decade and the whole South Asian region, which is watching closely. So as we can say that Sheikh Hasina promises to return and reclaim her nation, as Muhammad Yunus faces mounting pressure to prove his intentions. One question echoes across every home in Bangladesh and every capital in the world: Will democracy survive? Or, or is this the beginning of a darker choice or a darker chapter in Bangladesh history? And we see that Bangladesh stands at a historic crossroads between the reform as well as repression, between global praise and local outrage. And how this story unfolds may just decide the fate of an entire region, from India's borders to the heart of Southeast Asia. So, what do you think? Is Muhammad Yunus a reformer, a ruler in disguise? Is Sheikh Hasina a victim of a political vendetta, or the past haunting the present? Tell us in the comments. Share this video to ignite the conversation that the world needs to have. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon, because we are just getting started. So, in the world full of noise, stay with us for the truth, because this is not just politics, this is the history in the making here. Thank you so much.